Hey, hi everyone. Good evening and welcome to my channel Anand and Abhishek Twin with us. So today I'm going to talk about how to begin the communication in English and why it is important. I would say that let's wait for some people to come onto the channel and then we can start this class. I know that this time there are many students from the starting from the elementary education till 12th standard and even more than that there are people who have been watching this. So I would give some more time to it and would say that let's wait for a few more moments as to when people can really join this session, and then we can begin to talk about as to why why English communication is important and from where we should begin. Thanks, we have three people watching this uh, online streaming by now, but would expect that few more people should be coming in online and as to when we can begin. All right, so I think that we have waited for very first minute and talking about it as to how to start the English communication. First of all, thank you so much for joining and taking out your time. Even the people who are watching this video after this live streaming also, it would be important for them to listen it carefully. I would say that many of the students are the people who have completed their education. They do not they understand English, they write it well, but when it comes to the speaking, they really have fear of speaking, or maybe like they did not try that ever. I have been listening it over and again from the people that when they try to speak, they feel hesitation. They feel that if they would talk something, it may not go well, and therefore they do not talk. Specifically, the people who are from the Hindi background or who have not been learning English in the prestigious colleges or schools, for them it becomes a very barrier, as wherein they complete most of their education in Hindi medium only, and they do not be able to speak when they go for an interview, when they go for out for the studies, and they find out the that all the lectures are happening in the English, all the interviews are happening in the English. They find themselves, kind of an in a bad situation. Therefore, all the students, specifically starting from the elementary education who are watching me today, my recommendation would be for them that once you wake up in the morning and before you go to sleep, whatever that you do, start try to think in English. For example, when you wake up in the morning, it does not need to be that you really need to go anywhere and and find a person who can talk in English. No, it's not necessary. The first thing is that start talking to yourself. For example, that once you wake up, you can talk to yourself that what are the plan for the day. Make a schedule. Think about that what is something important for you for the entire day. How are you going to plan it? And then So the first thing which is required in you is start thinking in English and talk to yourself, because it may happen that unless and until you know it, that whether it's important or not, whether you should talk in English or not, first of all you will have to understand it's important, that it is important for you. Therefore you start thinking that yes, I have to wake up in the morning, and I wake up, let me do something now, let me go for uh, jogging, let me go for a morning walk, and once I will come from there, I will get myself ready for schools, maybe for colleges, maybe for office. And once I'm there in the office, I'm going to meet a lot of people, I will talk there, and I will get my things done in the school, colleges, or in the offices. I will return from there, and then in the evening again I'm going to do something productive. I will complete my homework, class work, maybe like office work which is pending. If there is something which can you can do at home, we will spend some time. I mean, maybe I will spend some time with the family, followed by watching some productive things onto the mobile phones, or maybe onto the television, followed by before you go for sleep, again you will think that have you been able to complete all of your deliverables or not. If not, is there something you can still do that, and then you will go for sleep. So first thing is that start thinking all these things into your own thoughts. And then once you're done with your own thinking, it means talking to yourself. Then start taking it to the other people. Now when I say that, talk to other people in English, it could be your own siblings, your own family members, your own friends to whom you speak on daily basis. Therefore, whatever that you communicate, you start try to speak maximum thing in English. And what will happen, that suppose that you have to say that you have to talk to your own sibling, you have to talk to your brother, you can simply say that, well, how are you doing? Is there something that you can do? uh, is there something that would you like to play with me? Let's go for playing cricket. Let's go for playing let's go for a study. Would you mind giving me a glass of water? Would you please could you please give me the book? Likewise, whatever that comes to your thoughts, right, start converting them into English. And it is also possible that at times your sibling is not so knowledgeable, he or she is not able to understand it, right? So what you can do, for example, that you are saying that, well, please come here, and suppose he does not know English at all, right? So what you can do, you can simply say to the person that, क्या आप यहाँ आ सकते हैं? या ब्रदर, आई एम कॉलिंग यू, राइट? भाई मैं आपको बुला रहा हूँ, प्लीज कम हियर, आप यहाँ पे आइए, right? And then slowly and gradually, the other things that on the daily basis that you do at home, for example, that many of us used to take uh, lunch, dinner, breakfast together. You can simply say to your siblings that, well, sister, brother, can we take the lunch together? And again I'm saying it, that do not shy about it. If you are going to do something in the beginning, it is quite possible, that people will laugh at you. Hey, this man is speaking English, right? देखो यार, इसको अंग्रेजी में बात कर रहा है, मुझे इंग्लिश नहीं आती. So maybe some of your friend itself himself will say that, यार देखो इंग्लिश में बात कर रहा है, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता, इंग्लिश में क्यों बात कर रहा है, right? They might say this thing. And I would say, the moment they would start laughing at you should think that something good is happening. right? People are really taking an interest in your communication, right? So the moment people will start thinking, and it happens in journal, it happens uh, that whenever you do something new, people may laugh at you, but I tell you the fact, later on they realize that if you're doing something good, they have to follow you also. It means वो तुम्हें भी follow करेंगे, because that is a need of the hour. वो समय की मांग है. English बोलना is the need of the hour. English is a global language, and each one of us should be good in the communication. Therefore, couple of things I'll tell you: that do not hesitate even when you make mistake. When you're going to talk first time, do not hesitate to talk. If people are laughing at you, let them laugh. But the thing is that keep in mind that you can become successful only when you speak well, only when you try to speak. Unless and until you will speak, you will not become a good communicator, right? So I would say that talk the more you can, uh, speak, right? The other step. So first thing that, you know, uh, do not feel bad. Do not shy from the people if shy speaking even if when you are making mistake. The other things that you can do along with that, keep working on your word bank. And I would say that no, I'm not saying you that each one of us need to remember maybe like 20 word meanings every day, 50 word meanings every day. No, if you're able to add at least 5 new word meanings every day to your word bank, to your knowledge bank itself, that is going to be a you are going to ultimately, you are going to create a an enlarged word bank. And when you do have a word, when you do have word bank, right, when you know that when you know the English and Hindi both, you can speak anytime. The other thing which is required, that when you have word bank, right, the other thing which is required, that you also need to learn grammar. Many of us do not be able to concentrate on the grammar, and I tell you that grammar is very easy. You just need to tag one sentence, a one tense to another tense. For example, that we have present, past, future, and it has we have uh, indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, right? So we have present indefinite, we have past indefinite, we have future indefinite, right? You have to create a link in between. Likewise, we have present continuous, past continuous, and future continuous. So indefinite, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous, these things are very common in all the tenses. Therefore, learning tense is not difficult. And for the communication, I want to say that this is pretty important. But how it becomes important? Because we do not always live in the present, right? Sometimes we talk about the past stories. Sometimes we talk about talk about the future also. So when you're talking about past, you really need to know grammar, right? For example, if I'm saying it, कि I'm talking to you, it means मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, correct? But if I really have to say that I talked to someone in the past, मैंने पहले कभी किसी से बात किया था. So for that, I really need to know that past sentence rules are different than present. And likewise, if I say that I'll be talking to you in the future also, it means मैं आपसे भविष्य में भी बात करूंगा, isn't it? And that these are the reason why why grammar is important. There are other things definitely, right, along with the grammar. There are things which are pretty important. Before you get into tenses also, there are things. For example, part of a speech. Now, what is part of a speech? For example, if I'm saying it, that You guys are very attentive. You are listening to me. मतलब आप लोग बहुत ही ध्यान लगा के मुझे सुन रहे हैं. You guys have very good listening power. मतलब आप लोगों की listening skills बहुत अच्छी हैं. Now, in one sentence, what is noun? What is pronoun? What is adjective? Verb, adverb, conjunction, preposition, interjection, right? These are There are 8 part of speech. So when you speak any of the sentences, right, it is a combination of part of speech, and you should know that where it is used, how it is used, isn't it? When you know part of speech, when you know tenses, and when you do have word bank, nobody can stop you to become an effective and a good communicator. You can really become great in the communication. And I would say, see again, the very first thing which is needed in order to become an effective communicator, keep it consistent. And do not wait for others to speak, right? कई बार ये क्या होता है, हम कहते हैं यार मुझे ना अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट नहीं मिल रहा है, मुझे ऐसे लोग नहीं मिल रहे जो इंग्लिश में बात करें, राइट? I would say this is just an excuse. And I'll tell you my own story. When I was in 12th standard, and maybe like when I was in 11th and 12th standard, and I were used to and I were try to speak with my some of my peers in the college, they were simply say to me, यार चुप हो जा, तुम्हारी इंग्लिश नहीं सुननी मेरे को. Agreeing. They were say like, यार मेरे सामने ना इंग्लिश मत झाड़, अगर तुझे इंग्लिश में बात करनी ना, please go somewhere else, form another company, form another group of friends, and then talk to them. I would say these things could be happening with you guys also, राइट? तुम्हारे साथ भी यही चीजें होती होंगी. जब तुम इंग्लिश में बात करना चाहते होगे ना, कहते हैं यार चुप हो जा यार, मेरे सामने इंग्लिश मत बोल प्लीज. डोंट मेक मी फील बोरिंग. आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड. मेरे को जब इंग्लिश सीखनी होगी ना, मैं सीख लूंगा, चाहे इंटरव्यू में जाके फेल हो जाऊंगा. ऑलराइट. एंड दिस डज हैपन. देयरफॉर आई वुड से do not uh, get impacted. I do not feel good or bad about the negative vibes which is coming from different people. Do know, you should know yourself that what is good for you or what is bad for you. So if you feel that English communication is pretty important for each one of us, keep it consistent, keep it unceasing, right? And the other things I'll tell you, couple of things I have made couple of bullet points for you guys, because this is the first time when I'm when I mean, at least I can see that there are 10 people who have continuously been watching. There are people who have been uh, I think that I do have still limitations wherein only 20 till 25 people can watch me online. But of course, after some time, you guys will be able to watch this video. So the other things I'll tell you, okay, there are some bullet points that I have made ready for you, okay. So uh, just keep in mind, and I have mentioned the few of these things in my previous videos also. So point number 1 is speak in front of the mirror and watch out yourself. How do you perform? Now, why it becomes important for us to watch as how do I perform? Because when you speak in front of the mirror, it means जब शीशे के सामने आप बोलते हैं ना, so you really be able to see yourself as how your body gesture is, right? Are you actually feeling confident, or do you look confident when you speak, or you are really trying to see somewhere else and then you're trying to talk to me? So when you will feel, slowly and gradually, when you will speak in front of the mirror, you will really find it very interesting, I tell you. Okay. And try this practice, not for, I'm not saying that, try this practice forever. ये ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि यार तुम शीशे के सामने तुम्हें खड़े होके तुम्हें 1 हफ्ते बोलना है, 2 हफ्ते बोलना है, 3 हफ्ते नहीं, नहीं। Keep it only for a week, not more than that. All right. And once you are done with the practice of speaking in front of the mirror, talking to your siblings, talking to your family member in English, once 1 week is gone, I would say that now take it to the wider space. Okay. मिरर पर से शीशे में बात कर लिया 1 हफ्ते तक, 1 हफ्ते बाद में तुम्हारा क्या होगा ना, तुम्हें कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा बात करते करते कि now you can really speak with others also, you can speak with large audience, isn't it? Now when 1 week is done, start talking in English in your school, right? If you're a student, start talking with your friends. You can simply say to them, hey, let's come on guys, let's go and play. चलो बाहर चलते हैं, खेलते हैं, right? Yeah. If you really have to call to your teacher, maybe like he or she, your teacher is late, right, in the class, he did not he has not been on time, it's been like 5 minutes delay in the class, you can simply go to the teacher, right, ask, ma'am or sir, would you mind coming in the class, we guys are waiting for you. अर्थात क्या मतलब कि सर क्लास में आइए, हम लोग वेट कर रहे हैं आपका. Okay, it means now you are taking your communication a little wider, on the wider space. Now the people who are actually maybe doing who are there in the higher standard, right, are the people who have been able to got the job but they still feel weak in the communication. For them I would say, see, do not become overconfident, guys. Okay, because even every good speaker, कितना भी अच्छा बन जाओगे ना, it is a very general saying, कितना भी अच्छा कर लो ना, वहां पे there is always a realm of improvement. For example, कि अगर मैं आपसे आज बात कर रहा हूँ ना, doesn't mean that I'm very confident, okay, and I do not need any improvement. Each one of us need an improvement. ठीक है? So even the people who are working, the people who are maybe like who are working even in the MNC or anywhere, for them also, please take it to the take your communication, um, to your boss. When you're talking to your peers, talk to them also in English. Correct? That will boost your confidence, and that will actually help you out wherever you go. I'm not saying that this is only needed for a job. This English communication also help you to for the personality development. Correct? Now the other thing that you need to do, I have already spoken about that. It would be great if you can really prepare at least 5 word meaning. So maybe if I am coming in this class tomorrow, I would expect you guys to at least begin the communication English. Right? You can simply say to me that hi, hi, how are you? And then I can no, for example, if I say to the hi guys, how are you? You can simply respond to me that yeah, I'm doing great. What about you? Right, these are the mode of how you can begin the communication. The other piece is that, so 5 word meaning every day would be the great thing that you can add on to your skills. I have already spoken about, talk to your friends with whom you think they are very best friend of you. Several of us speak maybe for an hour with our friends. So rather than talking in Hindi, start communicating in English with them. And if they find it could happen. It happened with me also, that in the beginning when I tried to speak with my friends, they were very strange onto me. They were asking me, यार आप इंग्लिश में क्यों बोल रहे हो? Can we talk in Hindi? I did not hesitate saying them, यार देखो मुझे ना अपनी कम्युनिकेशन पे काम करना है. ठीक है, और मैं बात इस वजह से आपसे इंग्लिश में कर रहा हूँ, मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरी कम्युनिकेशन भी अच्छी हो और आपकी भी हो, क्योंकि ये दोनों के लिए ज़रूरी है ना? इंग्लिश में बात करेंगे, हमें आगे करियर में हेल्प करेगा, राइट? नाउ लेट्स थिंक अबाउट अदर थिंग्स. When you are talking, right, when you are communicating, the other thing which is important is listening skill, right? Develop the listening skills and get the positive things out of it. Now, हमारी आदत होती है है ना? सपोज जब हम हिंदी में बात करते हैं ना, we keep interrupting. We do not hear to people, isn't it? So I would say that when you are doing communication, it should always be a two-way communication. Doesn't matter with whom you're talking. If you're talking to your sibling, if you're talking to your friend, if you're talking to your teachers, if you're talking to your ma'am, if you're talking to your boss, if you're talking to your manager, everywhere it should be a two-way communication. Therefore, when someone is speaking in front of you, listen the person very carefully. And when you are talking, I would expect that the other person who is listening to you, they should also listen you very carefully. Because when you listen person carefully, that definitely helps everybody, right? You be able to convey your message properly to other person, and other person be able to understand you, isn't it? The other thing which is important, I have already spoken about, learn grammar and know the tenses and part of a speech. Why it is important? I have already told you guys. In the coming classes, I will definitely talk about uh, all the tenses and its rule. But at the same time, it says that do not expect everything from others. कहते ना, सब कुछ यार मेरे ऊपर छोड़ दोगे ना यार, मैं तुम्हें सब कुछ सिखा दूंगा, कोई नहीं सिखा सकता. When your teacher can't teach you everything. So you will have to put your own efforts for learning something. All of you and most of you mm, mm, would have grammar book, and the one who does not have it, I would say, खरीद लो यार, buy it, because these things are going to help you in the long run. So the other thing I have already talked. So this is done. The other important piece is read and try to share the story with your friends and colleagues. अब now कहते हैं कहानी कहानी पढ़ने के लिए मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, है ना? और ये कि बोलो कि पढ़ने के बाद दूसरों को बताओ भी। ये कि why it is important? Can you guys tell me in the comment box? Why it is important to read this story and tell it to others? और हिंदी में पढ़ने के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. Okay, I'm not saying you to read stories in Hindi and tell in Hindi, because this very specific class or this very specific live streaming that I'm doing it, this is for enhancement in the English communication. Correct? So read a story in English and share it with your peers, with your parents, and with your colleagues, whosoever is there. Now, when you read any story, there are a couple of benefits to it. One, when you read, your communication, your speaking power increases. Second, when you read the story, there must be some certain new, some new words that you can learn it by your heart, and then you can use it anywhere. If you know, if you are learning, if you are reading a story and you do not know its, if you do not know its word meaning, Google it. Find it into your textbook or into your, or somewhere else. But your word bank increases. The third benefit is when you read the story and when you share it with other people, right? Every story has a model, so it develops your, it develops the moral education. Many of us read the moral education, and every story has certain model, has a certain lesson. So that that helps you to develop your own personality. And other thing is that specifically when you read and share, this boosts your confidence. Correct? So uh, read and share, again, read the story and share it. These are the benefits. There are more benefits to it, but it is not better, it won't be good to tell everything, है ना? मैं सब कुछ बताता रहूं यहाँ पे नहीं, इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी गाइस. आई वुड से कि खुद पढ़ो, दूसरों को बताओ, एंड यू विल फील इट्स ओन इम्पोर्टेंस. Now, what is next thing? Start writing and enchanting it in enchant. start enchanting it in front of others. Now, start writing. Why writing is important in the communication? I'm talking about English communication, right? That English communication start, it means speaking power. Now, when it comes to when it comes to the communication, it does not mean only a speaking communication. But when you write something, uh, it really helps you to uh, to enhance your written communication also. There are two ways, right? One, when you speak, that's a communication, how your oral and written, this is a oral communication that I'm doing it. But when you write something, your writing communication improves. So read and write, share the stories with other people. That also helps you to in the communication. And then this is very important. Do not compare yourself with others rather than working on your own. Now, how it is important? कई बारी होता है ना, हम कहते हैं कि यार देखो मैं ना बहुत अच्छा बोलता हूँ, या मैं बहुत बुरा बोलता हूँ, या मैं बोलता ही नहीं। वो बहुत अच्छा करता है, वो बहुत बुरा करता है, या वो करते नहीं। ये जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है ना, ये जो थॉट प्रोसेस है, दिस इज वेरी बैड. It is not only related to communication skills, but do not compare, guys. Create a better version of yourself. Correct. Be it it is communication, be it it is your day-to-day life, whatever that you do, do not compare. It does not need to be. Always give your level best, and I'm sure that when you will give your level best, that will definitely help you, and will that will definitely help you to create a better version of yourself. These are the some tiny things that I have talked about, and I would say that these are pretty important for each one of you. Try it out. There are certain there are some tiny uh, uh, steps. There are some tiny things that I'm going to talk about today, and I would expect you to start following these things. Start from here, right? For example, if you really have to say someone thanks, how do you say that? अगर मान लो तुम्हारे साथ में किसी ने कुछ अच्छा काम किया है, how many ways are there to say thanks, right? You can say thanks, thank you very much, thanks a lot, right? These are the ways how you can say thanks to somebody. There are other For example, if you really have to ask for something, you can say that, please give me a pen of please give me a pen, please give me your textbook. Correct. This is how you can ask from somebody. Correct. Now, uh, for example, uh, if you really have to say, if somebody says thanks to you, how will you respond? You can say that, uh, welcome, most welcome, or you are welcome. The other way, right? So when somebody wishes you on your birthday, on your birthday, or again you can say thank you very much. Or when somebody greets you, says that happy Diwali. We recently had it, right? Happy Diwali. So either you can say that happy Diwali to you as well, but you can also say that